What's up, everybody? James Ziegler here, aka the Chiseler. Um, here with another episode of sharing a little bit of me with you. And this one is a continuance of what was going on in my life at the time. And continuing on with my brother. He was the next person that I had moved in with, and yeah, kicked me out as well. I was in Colorado, and it was around the time when my mom had passed, and my mom was living with him at the time, so he kind of really was going through it. It was like the last time he saw her, in person, and so yeah, I had moved down there to like help him out. He was like, she was like helping him with some of the rent and stuff, so he needed some help, paying the rent and stuff like that. So I moved down there, and he was in LA. I moved down there, moved in with him, and it was good. It was good. We hadn't lived with each other in a long time, so we got a chance to bond and build a little relationship. We had worked at the same job for a little bit. He was still going to UCLA at the time as well, and we was working at Chick-fil-A, which was like right across the street from UCLA. So it was pretty heavy traffic, pretty busy all the time, and yeah. So how it all happened, a few things happened between us in our relationship at the time. There was this girl that was staying there, or that was working with us at Chick-fil-A, and Jonathan was talking to her at first, and then when I moved there, I like met her and got to know her, and realized she wasn't really no good for him, and it was hard for him to see that, and I guess didn't understand what I meant, and thought she had good intentions, and I knew she didn't, so I kind of had to like show him that she didn't. How it basically happened was she ended up liking me, and kind of stopped showing him the attention that she was showing him to get him to think that she liked him. And he thought I took her, and and just was trying to take her away from him, and I was like, no, like, that's what I was trying to tell you, that like she was just interested to you until something better came along. Not to say that I was better, but yeah. So he kind of like like really mentally was upset about it, and just a few other things. He was going through some, like I said, he was going through the death of my mom and was internalizing it. And I don't know, just was dealing with it his way. So, long story short, we ended up like getting into a large argument, and he thought it was best that he would move from where we was living at, because it was too much on his mind. The fact that was like the last time that he saw our mom there, living there, so it kind of was like, bad memories on his mind, being there in that situation where he saw her last or whatever. And yeah, it was like, so what happened was, our mom went to Jamaica, which is another story. And we got a call from the American Embassy that she was found dead, and on her in a hotel, on the bed, naked, decomposing, with the shower running, and that was just the extent of the information that they was giving us. But so we just kind of left it at that. It cost money to make those phone calls back and forth to Jamaica to figure out what was going on, but we just felt like they was giving us the runaround, so we just kind of like let it go, and just accepted it for what it was, that she died, and she wanted to be out there, so we was kind of like, she just died where she wanted to be, and we kind of made it, into like a happy memory like that or whatever. So he had ended up moving, because he felt he couldn't live there in the same house where he had those memories of our mom, and that was the last time he remembered her, and it was just memories that he couldn't deal with. So he had ended up moving, I think it was back to the Bay. He'll correct me if I'm wrong or whatever, but yeah, I can't really remember, but after and then I moved, I think, back to the Bay too, somewhere else, but can't really remember either. But yeah, but like, I felt, he like kicked me out, because he, like I said, came to the conclusion that he couldn't do it anymore. He couldn't stand to be there, and we had gotten to an argument, and I felt like that was his excuse. Oh no, he moved to Vegas. That's what happened. He ended up moving to Vegas. Eventually, he had moved to Vegas and started doing his own thing, living out there in Vegas, had a new scenery, and from there, that's when I kind of went more homeless or whatever. But yeah, so that's the story where he, like, he, like I said, he felt he couldn't live in that situation anymore, so he was like, I can't move, I can't do it, I don't want to live here. And that was his excuse, to like break off our living arrangement, which kind of left me in a bind. And I was like, the only reason I was in Colorado with my own place, doing my own thing, and the only reason I moved out here was because I came out here to bond with you and build a closer relationship, and help the situation you was in before, our mom left and died or whatever. But I was a little bit heartbroken that he just made that move all of a sudden, that decision. And we had bought a dog. I had bought a dog for us to, like, help cope through the situation. And then I had, I was like in the streets, and I had to just decide, to let him have the dog. I was like, well, maybe it'll help him, mentally, companionshiply, and yeah, so it was just like an all of a sudden decision that I had to like figure out my moves from there, the next move. And actually, no, I didn't go back to California. I actually ended up moving in with the girl, who at first, was interested in my brother, and was living with her, and was still working the job at Chick-fil-A for a while, until I ended up breaking it off with her because she, you know, like I said, she was manipulative, and it just got down to the wire to where it was just raw manipulation in our friendship, you know. And you know, to where like it was like I started dating her, and it just became manipulative to where it was just, she just wanted me to come over for sex or whatever. So and just there just was no more, you know, relationship. It was just in a sexual agreement that I would, you know, be over there, and that's all she wanted. And I would just, you know, stay in the night and having sex with her just to stay the night and all that type of stuff. So after that, yeah, so I left her house and ended up staying with a homie of mine. And that's another story. But yeah, that was the conclusion of you know, all the people that had kicked me out of their houses. Because after that, I kind of left everybody else's house on my own will and decision. But there was a few more houses that I had to leave to like just make the situation better, and it was a negative, rough environment, so I left just because it was toxic or whatever. But those are more stories to come. But thanks for listening, and appreciate y'all sharing a little bit of me with you. And until next time, stay chiseled.